Assalamualaikum to Madam Jo. My name is Nurul and Binti Suhaimi. I am from PHM 1113 B1. Okay, I would like to present to you about reviving the trishaw or becha for tourism in Penang. First of all, I will tell about the background of the trishaw. In Penang, rickshaws are called trishaws. There are about 200 trishaws in Penang spread around the Georgetown area, especially the tourist areas. A trishaw or beca in Malaysia is a three-wheel vehicle with a driver in the back who propels the vehicle by pedaling, and the cab in the front just large enough to seat two adults. The trishaw took over from rickshaws as the principal form public transport is in Georgetown around the end of 19th century. However, the use of trishaws among people is getting less, as there are other public transport such as Grab, taxi, or so on. Therefore, we need to revive the trishaw for tourism in Penang.
Hi, my name is Nurul Affifa Binti Ahmad. I will proceed with the impact of trishaw to economy. The first point is attract tourists. As we know, if we can attract more tourists to come and spend money to our country, it can increase our economy. Okay. If we focus on trishaw in Penang, we can say that the design of the trishaw itself cannot attract tourists compared to Malacca. But what is meant by attract tourists here is tourists, international tourists or outside tourists that come from outsider, they will find trishaw when they want to walk around the Georgetown. It is because the trishaw rider itself is expert and have more information and knowledge about the road and also the best location to explore. And most of the time, the trishaw rider also will bring their customer to local souvenir shop, and they can shopping. The customer can shopping at there. Then by this activity, it will help to increase the investment of the investment to the country. The second one is sources of income. Through trishaw, it can open a job opportunities to the community and can decrease the unemployment rate. And for those who want to be a trishaw rider, they can apply official license for the state government and pay for some amount and some tax for each year, which can contribute as an income for our country and boost the economy. And the last one is low cost maintenance, because it's easy to find spare part to repair a trishaw rather than a car, because sometimes spare part for a car we need to import from outside and need to pay for higher price. And then decoration can be done by DIY, which is do it by yourself. The trishaw rider can decorate their trishaw by themselves and it will save more budget. Move to the next slide is impact towards society. Trishaw work as a heritage symbol for Penang community. It is because it has been in Penang since 1941, and it's also worked as a primary transport in 1950. And during this era, community in Penang used trishaw in their daily life. For example, sending their children to school. Next is sources of income for older community. As I mentioned before, through trishaw, it can open a source. It can be a sources of income for not only for government but also for older community. Since we know older citizens is very difficult to find or apply job because of their age, and through and being a trishaw rider, this can help them to survive and support their life and also their family and avoid them from being homeless. And the third one is helping tourists with difficulties. As we know, the narrow road in Georgetown area make it difficult for car to enter it. So the tourists need to walk in order to explore the Georgetown area. For example, the mural wall, then it will be challenging to tourists or to the community that have health issue. For example, food pain or for all the community. So from avoid to avoid from this problem, they can rent a trishaw and explore the place. This will make it easy for them.
My name is Naziah Afiqah Binti Yasin, and I will continue the presentation with the environmental impact of trishaw in Penang. Okay, so the first environmental impact of trishaw is it causes traffic congestion. The reason is because trishaw use the same route as other form of transportation such as the car, buses, and taxis. And we all know that Penang is well known with its narrow road and streets. And not only that, the movement of trishaw are much more slower than other transportation, since the trishaw doesn't have their own specific lane. The slow movement of trishaw will block other form of transportation, which automatically leads to traffic jam. And then the second one is safety risk. Why is it risky? We can observe that the trishaws in Penang doesn't provide any seatbelt either for its passenger or the traffic or the trishaw peddlers. So the risk of getting injured is higher. Not only that, there are research that said the trishaw is listed as one of the most vulnerable road users groups in terms of injuries and fatalities. So this is because the trishaw are more exposed to injury compared to those who are using four-wheel vehicles such as car and buses. And then they also doesn't have their own route, so the slow movement of trishaw make it dangerous for them to move on the same route with other form of transportation. And then the last one is reduce the pollution. Trishaw is known as environmental friendly and healthy form of transportation. This is because it doesn't release any chemical substances such as other form of transportation. There is no carbon emission because trishaw are cycled manually and there doesn't have engine. And the last one, trishaw doesn't cause any noise pollution like other form of transportation.
Now, I will explain some suggestions or recommendations that I want to convey to you, that is how to revive the trishaw or beca for tourism in Penang. Firstly, is replace the old trishaw by modern mechanized models to ease the burdens of riders. Why I recommend these ideas is because e-trishaws or electronic trishaws are more comfortable to drive when compared with the arduous task of manually trishaws, so that the trishaws rider do not have to cycling or pedaling the trishaws anymore if using the e-trishaws. It's more convenience for them and the passenger as well. Next is increase the promotions of using the trishaw for tourists. For example, tour operators could include the trishaw riders in their tour packages, or the hotel in Penang could also promote the trishaw riders to their hotel guests, and they can also promote to media social as well, for like Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, to attract more tourists to ride the trishaws. Moreover, I would like to recommend is they need to they can design the trishaws that reflective of state heritage. For instance, decorate the trishaw with the flora and fauna like bunga raya, or play the traditional songs to catch the ears of tourists, instead of decorated with the characters from cartoons and movie, and play out Western songs such as Anna and Elsa from the movie Frozen, and Japanese like Doraemon. Japanese character like a Doraemon. When they decorate the trishaws with such design, they can tell the tourists what these songs is all about, so that they can understand what our heritage is and become part of it. Besides that, government should give a subsidy to trishaw riders. Additionally, take a language courses for trishaw riders, for example, English. Last but not least, the government should allocate special routes for trishaws.
So in conclusion, we can see that trishaw gave both positive and negative impact to each perspective, which are environmental, economic, and society. However, we can see that there are much more positive impact rather than negative impact given by trishaw. So it is very sad to see that the number of trishaws in Penang has been decreasing. Therefore, the government, travel agencies, and the trishaw peddlers themselves should take initiative to maintain this tour transportation, because trishaw is one of Penang's cultural heritage. And heritage is not just about remembrance of tangible old belongings, history, but it is much more than that, because this heritage indicate our identity and culture of Malaysia. Thank you.